Hi and welcome to this video. This is the first AI 7 walk and talk. And as you see, you're walking with me through nature. And this will be a more personal section or more personal concept. So we are walking together and I will talk about AI, of course. We'll talk about all the latest announcements that we have seen on the OpenAI conference, on the dev conference that was actually a week ago. And in the dev conference, you may have seen the video which I made saying that this was actually anti-dev conference. And I want to talk a little about that. Because as many of you may know, OpenAI implemented a lot of new features that basically took away a lot of the small startup ideas or concepts. So just imagine companies like 11 Labs, they have been building mainly on voices to basically power the ecosystem. So you could send an API call to them. And basically the main business model is or was text to speech and speech to text. And now, as you know, OpenAI has implemented text to speech and speech to text to their own model. So you can just call it over the API. So you don't need these kind of companies anymore. And the same goes on for a lot of companies. And you may know we are also building in the industry. What we're doing is we're building mentors and AI experts. Basically models where you can take your knowledge, you can upload your knowledge to a knowledge or vector database, and then you can train your model basically. You can use that for your own purposes. You can use it for employees to train them. The main purpose we are focusing at the moment is targeting people that are experts in their field, and they can basically upload all the data and create their own model, especially for consultants and people that have a lot of knowledge are teaching on a platform or are quite well known also for influencers. They have now the first time the opportunity to clone themselves. But the problem is now with this custom GPTs that basically everybody can build their own GPT, right? So what we could build with our technology about a year ago, everybody can build now. And this is the thing, like you have to be, if you decide to build in this industry, you have to move very fast and you have to be able not to spend too much money because otherwise you're spending tons of money into an idea and 5 months, 2 months, 1 week later, OpenAI will come out and actually crash your idea because they are implementing it in the main model and you can call it via the API. So you need to be quite careful in what you're investing in, your time, your money. And in that case, what we build is basically the vector database in the background and everything. Now you have everything in this custom GPTs that you can put in the store as well. But I think we have to see it like today, everybody can basically build their own model, right? So everybody can build their own website, I wanted to say. So these days, there are still companies selling web design and making websites for companies. And I see it almost in the same way. You are actually building something and you are building something that should, of course, have a much deeper and higher purpose. So if you're just out there and building exactly the same stuff as OpenAI has got now in their model, you need to actually come up with new ideas, new implementations. That could be security stuff. That could be, for example, by security, I mean, let me check a second if it's recording because it's the first time. So you can have a look at the major. Yes, it's recording. What I mean by security is basically that, especially if the company gets a little bigger, they don't want to have their data on OpenAI. Even if they say they don't use the data for training, they don't use anything about the API for training. You know, some people or some companies are not allowed to put their data in an environment like that. So this could be an advantage that you still have that the data is secure. Then also you have a very hard limit in training these small GPTs. That means that a lot of data can't be uploaded in the moment. It's possible that you can do that in the future. The text to speech, speech to text is there. So you can implement it, but still there's the opportunity to build apps. So we are, for example, building on an iOS and an Android and a web app that will support text to speech and speech to text. So this is something that you can do. But also then it goes into the direction where you can implement, if you're building a therapy bot, for example, you could implement like all the sensors from the Apple Watch. Another big thing is also the payment. I don't think that OpenAI will integrate payments in a way that I'm talking about. They will have this kind of store where they will do the payments, or that they will give you some payment if you bring them new customer. I don't know if this is like the payment, like you are like an affiliate. If you bring them new clients and they came from your bot, you getting a revenue share, they said. But this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having your bot, and the bot can be, you can subscribe to the bot or you can pay per minute. Maybe you've seen these crazy projects that are out there for some months already. Like there's this AI girlfriend where people pay $1 per minute to talk to them. It's very easy setup actually. It's over Telegram, and you can build this today in, I don't know, if you're a developer, you can build that in 1 day. It's very easy. That's almost all open source. And what they did is just made a Telegram bot where you can subscribe, and then basically you can pay $1 per minute, and the text reply will come through recorded. So it's not talking like live. It will be an MP3 or an audio file that you have to click and play. And basically they're using some engine in the background that is playing the stuff. So there's a lot of advanced things. And what I want to tell you is that if you're building in this space, see it like, like I gave you the example with the websites. Everybody can build his own website. But first of all, does everybody want to do it themselves? A lot of people may think they don't have the skills, or they're just not interested, or they don't know the special purposes. And because the industry is moving so fast, there's a lot of opportunity. And also the integrations. At the moment, I don't think we have any integration for the bots. That means you can generate or create the bot, and you can send somebody a link, and the people can use it. I'm not sure if it's limited to any kind of usage, or what the point is, like if you have to pay in the background in the future, if it's getting heavily used. But what I say is the integration, like in a chat or on your website, not just with a link, in a nice way, like also through an API, you're not able to integrate it into Facebook, Telegram, Messenger, and so on. The big advantage is if you're building a bot and you're using, there are two parts to it, basically, I would say. The one part is the backend, which is fairly easy. The backend can be built with Flowwise, for example, which is open source. And you have a backend, you can connect a vector database. And the vector database, you need some kind of admin that you can upload documents and maybe manage some other stuff. Then you need to have an API key. And as a front end, you can actually use any kind of chatbot interface, like you're using VoiceFlow or TypeBot sometimes, because in VoiceFlow, it's quite complicated to integrate the payments. And TypeBot, it's much easier to integrate payments. And this is why we're using sometimes this and sometimes that. The big advantage of VoiceFlow, for example, is you can in one click deploy to your Alexa backend, to the Amazon Alexa development backend. And it's very easy to deploy it then on your phone. Until now, this was the easiest way that we used to talk to the bot, because you are using the Alexa interface and Alexa is talking anyway. So you could download it to your developer. If you have it in your developer console, you could download it onto your phone if you install the Alexa app, and then you can talk to it. Now, of course, with the APIs and with the integration of OpenAI with the text-to-speech, speech-to-text, you can do it and you can call it over the API. Also, another very nice thing is that OpenAI can now, through the API, let you integrate the image model. That means you can basically have a picture, building application, you're making a picture of whatever it is. It could be a flower, it could be some kind of plant. I could point it like at this tree, and I could ask the model, what kind of tree is that? And now it's possible that basically it will give you an answer. And you can do that with almost everything. You can also train it, of course, but this is very fascinating that you have now also access to that. And I don't know if you've seen it, but there is already on the third or second day after they announced the new updates, already people built some stuff around it. So one guy made an application where actually it's commenting on a football game. The other guy made a tool that's actually commenting on a video game. And how it works is they're using this new feature in the API. It's not a lot of code. It's taking a screenshot I think in this case it was every 15 seconds. It's taking the screenshot, submitting it, and because of the screenshot, the large language model, together with the text-to-speech integration, is able actually to be the commenter of the whatever it is, of the football game. Could even be a voiceless YouTube channel or computer games, whatever it is. You have now the opportunity to do that. And this, of course, opens up a lot of new apps, a lot of new possibilities. Just imagine what you can build. You could build like some kind of repair apps. And like we said before, everything that you want to know what it is. Also, it's possible to make your homework, like for the kids. Maybe they shouldn't listen. But they could just take a picture of the math homework they have, submit the picture, and they will actually get the result, because the model is now able to understand what the problem is and what the answer should basically be. So a lot is changing, and I think we have to see it in a different way. For me, it feels like before it felt already quite a lot. The changes, the industry is moving so fast. It's extreme, but after the conference, it was really, yeah, it was a little too much for me, all the changes, because also in our case, we are just at the moment in basically having everything together that we wanted to have together. And then they come out and giving this basically for free to everybody. But like I said, I think we have to see it in a different way. This will also ramp up the awareness of these models, because till now, if you talk to clients or other people, strangely, a lot of people seem either they don't understand at all what it is or how it works, or they seem to understand it, but they don't really get it. So if you talk to people, they still think it's some kind of chatbot that you can, you implement it on your website and it's like support bot, right? But if you do it in the right way, the bot has got a much higher value. It's not like you would just have a regular chatbot and place an agent. I think everything will change, or most of the stuff will change in a way that also the way how we interact with websites. So I think the future is you come to a website. Most of the cases, I would say you know what you want if you go to a website, right? So what happens is most of the time you're going to use a search engine. The search engine will suggest some results. This is also changing rapidly, as you may have seen, because Google also understands that the world is changing and they have to implement some new stuff. So also the search engines will change. And the question is, will a search engine still exist in some years? Or in what way will it exist? Because we will always have to search. But let me finish that point before I get to what I wanted to say now. I think the point is, you come through a search engine, you come to the website, and on the website you probably already know what you want, because you put in the keyword, I don't know, buy Red Sox or whatever. Then you come to the website that actually offers Red Sox. And on this website, you arrive, you probably, if you're lucky, you already arrive at the page where they offer Red Sox. So you're on the product page and a category page. But in a lot of cases, you need to start a new search there again. And most of the time, maybe the search function is not that great. So you need to start searching again. And this is why I think it will heavily change, because why shouldn't you interact with the website in a very different way? I just want to show you the view. I'm not sure how good you see that, but down there is the sea. And trees, quite blue sky today. I hope you're enjoying the hike together. Just to show you what is behind me as well, so you know why I'm not looking in your eyes all the time because I have to climb over these rocks. Yeah. So a lot will change. It will also change how we interact with websites. And why shouldn't you on the website basically say, to whatever you speak into it or whatever you prefer, you type into it and then you say, I'm looking for Red Sox, and then the website will actually know where the best results is. Then it will may ask you, are you a man or woman? Or maybe this will already be stored in some kind of profile. I could imagine that we have a kind of profile, and I don't know what that would be, or some kind of login or whatever, or some kind of indication who we are. And I bring that up because of so in this case, it would be the simplest case that the application would know that I'm a man or woman. Or these days, I'm not sure if I'm how to define it, but so the suggestions would be much easier. And the more the application knows about me, the better the application will be able to help me. And this is why I think much more will change like we can imagine now. Because I don't think that we will do these searches by ourselves. What does that mean? I think that actually we will have our own agents. I'm not sure how many this will be, but how I imagine it to work is that basically maybe I have a main agent. This would be like my personal assistant. And I tell them my agent, listen, I need red socks. Or the agent is like my mother, and the agent has got some kind of cameras or knowledge, even deeper knowledge about me, how I'm living, what the condition of my socks is. Yes, I know this is probably not, this goes a lot into privacy, and I also don't like that stuff if a lot of personal stuff is shared, right? But just imagine, for example, this bot knows that I don't know, I have a hole in my red socks and I need to go to a Christmas party where red socks and Christmas pullovers are mandatory. Let's imagine that. Seems like a very realistic example to me, as you may agree. So in this case, the bot will probably be able to order it automatically. Automatically means maybe if I set him up in a way, she, he, it in a way that the bot is allowed to make orders without asking me, he will just go ahead and search. And the interesting thing is he will search by himself. That means, just imagine, that means the regular search engines. So the bot will probably use, or if the bot is configured good, and what I mean by that is the bot will know or have to tell him in the settings what I like. So I will tell him I like sheep wool, and I like this kind of red, and I like longer socks or like the smaller socks. You see, I'm total sock expert. And then he will do that for us. But he will probably just parse data sources because for him, the setup, a beautiful setup of a landing page and everything else will not be that important. And this will crash again a lot of industries. So this will be basically landing page building or lead page building for agent. Because you have to build it then in a way that the agent likes your landing page. And the agent probably doesn't like or doesn't care about colors, shapes, text on a button, copywriting in a certain way. This goes very deep, but this is what I think, that soon we will have agents. Maybe one agent that is commanding the other agents to buy something. And what I could imagine is maybe this is a good business idea. So listen, maybe it's possible to generate or create a shopping agent, a health agent, a interior agent, a holiday agent, whatever. So basically then my agent, my main agent, will hire this, let's say, holiday agent and communicate with the holiday agent. And my agent will know I want to go to, I don't know, Spain, or I want to go skiing to Germany or Switzerland. So he will connect to this travel agent, or to this, how did we call it, holiday agent, and actually interact with him. And the holiday agent will have all this information. So this got quite a little too nerdy, I guess. So, but just for you to basically imagine what the idea is and what I think we're gonna have. So one more look. So we have a second part of a C. You look here. This is not the part that I showed you before. This is the part I showed you before. So it's pretty nice here, as I see, and pretty quiet. Just me here. You can see the shade. So a lot of stuff will change. In what direction, I don't know, but I think we even have to think a little bigger. And thinking bigger in the case that we will not, most of the stuff we are doing now ourselves, especially the research, I think a bot will do for us very soon. And this was actually also if you listen to Sam Altman, he said that at the end, that basically this is the first step into the direction where we have agents and bots doing stuff for us. If this is a good thing or a bad thing, I think everybody has to decide for themselves. And I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is. It's a little scary because I think the less you do yourself, the more you are depending on somebody, the more you're getting more and more out of control, right? And this actually leads me into blockchain, and because this basically we are going into or getting into a world now where it's getting harder and harder to verify if this post is really posted by the person. Like, how can you still know? You've probably seen all this music videos and this announcement. Something was about Elon Musk talking some stuff, but just imagine now with the elections 2024, how much stuff will come out that is probably not, I don't want to say true, because I have very different opinions on what is true and what is not true. But is it even published by this person or by this account? So what needs to happen is that we have to move forward into the direction that we can verify the person. This could be actually done quite easily quite easily if you know a little about blockchain stuff. Like with MetaMask, which is a wallet, you have the opportunity to sign transactions. This means, for example, let's take a very simple example. Let's take Twitter. If I'm on Twitter and I post a message and I would sign it with my key, private key, nobody else has this key. Twitter or everybody would know I am the real publisher. I really published that. You can verify that. Maybe you know that from email programs, like if you use Proton Mail, you know that you can also do the same. And basically, this will give the opportunity to know that actually this is the original publisher. And we need to implement something like that to be sure that we can still trust somebody. I've seen very shocking videos basically where now these days it's already possible. They took a face of a child and then they generated a video. I don't know if it was just for test purposes or to sell some kind of product, but what they did is actually they put on the face of the child onto this thing, and it looked like it's really the child. And then the child called the parents over, I don't know, WhatsApp or some kind of visual thing. And the child said, "Oh, mommy, I need help, or I need this, or I need that." Or just imagine calling your grandma or whatever, say, "I need $1,000, send it to me like this or that," right? So, yeah, soon we need some kind of solution, I would say. So the latest changes from OpenAI, I see it with, I think some of it is very good. And we have to adopt, we have to move forward with our applications. If you're not building an AI, you can, for you, it's great. You can build your own agents. It's just a little limited, but you can get the first taste of how it can really be and become for you. So I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed walking around with me. I will show you the view one more time. I will probably do this once a week if you like it. And I wish you all the best. And go out and walk a little yourself. Take care. Bye-bye. I see you. Bye-bye.